Hi everybody, it's me again, Julia, the owner and founder of Lash Tribe Academy. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I would like to talk to you a little bit about the differences of producing a product from scratch, innovating something, calling yourself the original, and also a lot with private labeling. Private labeling is something that has been done for forever, as long as I can remember back. Private labeling basically means that you, if you want to be a company with your own products, can go to other companies that are producing either from scratch the product, or they have what you call a salesperson or a middleman that then sells it to you. Big companies do it, small companies do it. Anyone can do it. Not everyone does it, but if you are someone who wants to start their own company, you will probably at some stage private label in your career, just because it's a little bit easier than coming up with your own original formulations and your own innovations if you don't have the means to it. So in this video, I want to cover everything that you need to know when it comes to private labeling and starting your own lash brand. So what does private labeling mean? Take this little bottle, for example. This is a beautiful little bottle, has been sold for a good 10 years. You can easily get these types of things on Alibaba or AliExpress. It's not a secret, it's been there for a very long time. But I chose this color for our brand because we are rebranding, and we have rebranded all of our packaging thus far, being more black. Okay, so I ordered these little products in these bottles. There is product in it, but I'm currently getting my labels made. Now, where did I get this product? I don't have a lab, I don't work with a chemist together, and I also don't really have a business partner who knows how to formulate their own products from scratch. There's a lot of knowledge that goes behind it. So people like myself, who are, I am a worldwide known company, but not all of our products, especially the liquids, are made from scratch. Like I said, it can be very costly, very expensive. There's a lot of quality control, and it can take years and tens of thousands of dollars to actually come up with something and then get it approved as well, which is very important. So Lash Tribe, I myself have decided that I wanted to start out with something that I knew the quality was already amazing, the research had been done, and I love working with the people who are now actually coming up with the ideas and the concepts of the products, and they have a house lab now in Germany where they are producing all of these products. One of them is this little guy here. So what's inside is quality, it's controlled, it's made in Germany, it's FDA approved. What was best for Lash Tribe was to get products that were already there, that were proven to work. They have been working for years, or sometimes even many years, and I just didn't have the time nor the means or the desire to develop a product myself at this very stage. And I also wanted to get something that has already been out for a little while, and I've been watching it, and it has also been selling really well, just under different names. Because private labeling is all about basically getting a product that is already on the market, and you are putting your own label on it so that you can sell it to your customers. Now, it's not as simple as slapping your own logo on it, though. There's a lot of research involved, trying to get contacts and keeping that relationship going, a very trusting relationship, testing a lot of products, which also involves a lot of money, and you need to be registered with certain parties. If you are in Australia, you need to be registered with nicnas.com.au, which is the kind of chemical body that you can check whether your products would be allowed to come into the country or not. So I wanted to make sure that if we were to private label for Lash Tribe, we had quality products that were produced in a German lab. They have FDA approval, and a couple of the products are even vegan, which I think is really important in today's market. And we are also currently working on, or the lab is currently working on, getting all the other formulas a little bit tweaked so that these are also vegan. A lot of the time it is not as cheap as you might think. I know there have been some changes lately where you can buy 50 or 100 of one thing, but say for example, I am currently getting new bottles made. I have to order 1,000 bottles at one time, which is, you know, not cheap. Then you have to really take into consideration your graphic designer who has to do your logo and your label up. Then you have to pay for someone to actually produce the label, the sticker. Then you need to have someone who actually puts it onto the bottle if your company doesn't do it right away, which is not very common. Usually they are shipped out in a blank canvas. The product is inside, but then you have to still put your own label on it. So there's a lot of stuff involved. And then also you need to register your product and make sure you have an SDS sheet. Let's talk about SDS sheets here for a minute, and I'm going to put one right here. An SDS sheet is a safety data sheet. You may also have heard MSDS sheet, which is material safety data sheet. That is basically showing your clients, if you are the supplier, what is in your product, where it was produced, and also all the hazards inside of the product. Every little single thing is broken down and you know exactly what you're gonna get. Now these SDS sheets, they have a registration date, so you know exactly when they were coming out on the market by that particular company. Also make sure you check not only the date, you also check the product name if they're sending it to you, and that they are actually listed as the registration contact. A lot of the time a supplier will block out where it was made, which is fine. It is kind of a confidentiality thing if you want to know exactly where it was made in which lab. You know, it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to reproduce a product if you're wanting to like look into doing something like that by just looking at the ingredients on the SDS sheet. You are legally, if you are the supplier, required to give your clients the SDS sheet if they want to see it. Yeah. So just make sure that if you are getting products in, that you have an SDS sheet. If you are a consumer and you require an SDS sheet, just because you want to know whether the company registered the product, or whether they have the correct name on it, or when they actually came out with the product, and the company doesn't want to show it to you, they legally have to show it to you. So you can tell them that you are required to show it to me, so can you please email it through to me. And that being said, if you want to see any of our SDS sheets, we're very transparent. Of course, we are happily emailing them out to anyone who wants to see them. SDS sheets are amazing because they will tell you exactly, as the end consumer, what's in them, and maybe even it's good for your clients in case any reactions happen. You can go back to the SDS sheet, because look, not all of the ingredients always by law have to be listed at the back of the bottles, unfortunately. Sometimes they only list the 1 or 2 ingredients, and that is okay by law. I'm not going to get into that because I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice, so you need to check yourself with, if you are getting products made for your company, what has to be on the back of the label. So what I do with my German supplier is I always make up the labels and I send it to them, and they then ask the lab if that's okay to mention, because I would like to mention as many possible ingredients as I can, just because it gives the clients, I guess, a little bit more of a security blanket if they know exactly what's inside. And if you just see there's water and alcohol in something, but it's meant to be like a setting liquid, then it's probably not enough. And this is why we always add, quite a few things at the back to make sure that you know as much as we do. Here's a little video for you now that will explain to you how this actually works when you are just starting out and you don't really know exactly where to start to grab your own products, make them your own, even though you're not physically making them yourself. Let's talk about this a little bit more in depth. Let's say we're talking about lashes, tweezers, pouches, anything like that. We're going to start with a company that actually produces them. Now, the company who produces stuff doesn't necessarily have the raw material, so they get it from other places as well. Say tweezers, for example, you have company A, they make the tweezers, in their little workshops, they're hammering and they're bending and they're coloring, but these people, they get the raw materials from other places. Not all the time, but most of the time, Same with lashes. Most lash companies, they get their fibers that come in little bundles. They get them from other places as well. Okay, there's many different factories who make the lashes, but there's only a few places that have the good fiber that then companies make. So we have company A. Now this company has many little salespeople. Yes. Most of the time you're dealing with a salesperson, that's just not one CEO that says, hey, Julia, would you like to buy my stuff? It is lots of different little salespeople that then go to you, the supplier, who wants to open up their own brand. Okay, now that is the perfect scenario because this will be literally the cheapest for you. However, some people, salespeople, will have one person, which might be another brand or another company, sell them a lot of stuff, and then they can contact you, the end consumer, and then you can sell it on, and then you can even sell it on to someone else, I don't know, another person. So the more middlemen you have in between, can you see how much, like, literally affects how many dollars you're actually going to get out of it? Because you want to have enough money to have a good markup. Especially for me as a supplier, I'm getting my stuff straight from the salesperson, right? There's no middleman now. I used to have a middleman, but I now save money. So now I can actually give my suppliers a better price, and I can also give like the customers. So I'm the brand now, I'm getting everything from the salesperson, but now I can go to all of my customers, and all of you guys are also getting a better price. Yeah, if we have many different people going through everything, these dollar signs will disappear, right? And there won't be much markup for anyone. There won't be much money to be made. The one person who's laughing is this one and the salespeople. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure you all understand how this works. So what I do now, whenever I talk to someone, whether it is a liquid or tweezers or lashes, which I have my suppliers now, don't do it anymore, but what I used to do is I say, are you the salesperson directly for the factory, or are you a middleman? Like, are you on selling? Are you like one of those people, right? Give you an example of someone when I know that they are in fact a salesman for the factory. I am currently getting made something really exciting, and I asked the salesperson, can I change it? Can I have a different color? Can I add a USB thingy here and a USB thingy there? Can I change the height and the width and the way the components are? Because I find that my way that I want to create it, and actually I drew up a plan and sent it to him of how I wanted it to look. He said, yep, no worries, I'll make one for you. Within 2 weeks you'll have it as a sample. And that tells me that the factory A has a salesperson, yeah, and he converses with whoever, you know, decides, makes the decisions. So he asked these guys, can we just quickly do this for Julia? You know, she's been a great client of ours for 3 years. She wants to have it this and this and this way. So basically I designed my own product with his help. So I am a product designer. It's got nothing to do with liquids. It's something else that's coming out, which, oh my God, I'm so excited about. It's not a new idea, right? It is already something that was there before. Other people have similar things, but mine is going to be unique to Lash Tribe because I've perfected it and I've changed components around to make something work better. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be great. So that way, you know, it's a salesperson. Now, I have talked to companies before, say for example, in Australia, if you want to get made some boxes up, yeah, you go to a box company, say you want to go get it made in Australia. Not only is it really expensive, but the wait is also very long, usually like 2 to 3 months to get all the boxes made. And also it's like kind of a back and forth, and it takes a long time to convert. It's not just for boxes, it's also for anything to do with packaging. If you get it from scratch. Why do you think that is? Because this box company is actually the salesperson for company A over in China. They are the ones conversing back and forth with these guys, and these guys might be in China, and these guys might be in Australia. And this is why it's taking so long and it's so much more expensive, because they're getting a markup. So they're pretending like they're manufacturing everything themselves, but in fact, this company, which is a lot cheaper, will manufacture it themselves. Yeah, so instead of paying maybe $3 for a box with company A, you might be paying $6. Well, you know what that means. For a box. All right, I hope this clears it up. So you have your company, and you might work with someone like a salesperson, or even someone who knows the lab. Doesn't always have to be called a salesperson, could be the middleman, right? And they work with the lab. How do you, I hope that doesn't look like a penis. That's supposed to be liquid in there. Maybe I should make up some goggles so people know that that's the lab stuff. Anyway, they work directly with the lab. They know the chemists, so they develop their own products with these guys. These guys have like base formulas, or they might have someone specifically working with this person, and then you can go in and talk to this person and get that stuff made up. Yeah, this is how it works for me. For example, there's a lot of base formulas that we can tweak. I can tell them I want this in or that out, and that way I can make this product unique. Let's talk about uniqueness here for a second, because this is something that a lot of people don't understand enough about. If a company says we are the innovator of a product, that's nice. If they say that they are an original, that's also nice. So they can be copied if they haven't patented it. Patents are very, very expensive. And patents also are done country by country. So if you want to patent something all over the world, oh my lord, you better make sure that thing will make you millions of dollars. Otherwise, it's not really worth your time and effort and your money. If you want to patent something in one country, it's still extremely expensive. I personally wouldn't want to patent anything, because people will always copy it at some stage anywhere else in the world, and the amount of legal costs that would be involved to even try and fight it would be horrendous, I'm assuming. But we're just happy that we are supplying the great products that we are able to supply all the way from Germany. Now, of course, some of the things that are going to come out are a little bit more expensive. As you have just noticed, I am buying it from a salesperson or a middleman that is working with the lab very closely, but they obviously want to make a markup as well. Now, I want to make a markup too, and I have to pay shipping costs on top of that, as well as customs. So if you are importing from anywhere in the world and you are lucky enough not having to pay customs, be very careful, because maybe one day you will, and that can come back to you. I'm not a lawyer, this is not legal advice, but make sure you know your rules and regulations when it comes to importing, because in Australia we have to pay customs for anything above $1,000, and my orders are in the thousands of dollars, so I always have to pay customs. So when I buy something, it is not just the price. Let's say, for example, I'm buying a lash serum for 25 Australian dollars. It costs me $25, but now it has to be shipped, and now I have to pay customs on top. I have to pay for the logos, for the development of the labels. I have to pay for the printing of the labels, the designing of the labels, the logo designer, label designer. I have to pay my girl who works in the shop to actually stick them on. All of this adds up. So I always have to add, at least with everything included, at least another 33 to 40% on top of the cost of the actual product. Actually, if you are counting in all the labels and the work hours, it's probably more like 50%. So you need to make sure that you have a good product and that you also are able to move the product. People like it. It's actually a good product and not just some crap. So you need to make sure, in fact, that this product is spot on, that people will buy it, that your marketing is spot on, and also that you get great customer reviews so that they will come time and time again. And they'll also recommend to anyone on social media to buy that product, because that's how it works. This is how your sales will grow. And once you crunch your numbers and you actually find out, wow, I'm actually only making $5 on this product, maybe it's not quite worth your while, because then you have to also pay for your packaging it up, for the person working in your shop packing it up for them to go to the post office. It's just so much money involved. It took me a long time to really realize how to crunch the numbers for the online store, how much the product should cost me, how much I have to sell them for. And this is why some of the products are just a little bit more pricey than others, but you can also, you know, be really sure of good quality German-made FDA approved products as well. Also, we have a glue coming out which I've been using for a couple of months and I love it. It's amazing. Other people love it too, and yeah, so that is it. So really, whether you do your own production of products or whether you do private labeling, there are obviously costs involved with all the other stuff that goes around with it and the marketing. But it is a little bit easier to start off with private labeling. We are going to produce our own products very soon. I don't have a factory. I'm going to develop a product with someone else very soon, then get it made by the lab, and then a factory will, or the lab will produce it. I don't own a factory as such, but that is something that might happen over the next few months. At this stage, I want to provide you with quality product that I know that works. Now I want to tell you some fun facts about our new products. Let me start with our fanning liquid. Our supplier actually brought this out in 2017. The very first idea of a fanning liquid was made in 2017, and then she didn't actually start selling it until the year after. In this little bottle here, I'm not going to show you exactly where it comes from right now because this is my supplier. If you want to know more about it, maybe we can have a little chat after. But this little bottle is what it came out in first, okay? And this is what I tested, and this is why I then started to say, okay, I would really love to be on board with this, and I think my people would love to have a great fanning liquid. So I decided to call it Fan Me, whereas before it was called Easy Fan Liquid. Now it's called Fan Me. So when you are relabeling your products and private labeling, you can name it whatever the heck you want. Just make sure it makes sense, yeah? So our fanning liquid by Lash Tribe, produced by someone else, is called Fan Me. And this is actually a label I printed out. I haven't received the proper labels yet. They are coming in 3 days. Unfortunately, I'm going to be traveling overseas for 2 weeks, so I'm not going to be able to show the real product until I come back. So what you do with Fan Me is it comes in beautiful hygienic dropper bottles so that we never actually touch the client with any brushes. It's very hygienic, and you can just close it again and you put a tiny drop on a micro brush and you run it across your lash strip before you start your service if you have a very bad day of fanning. Yeah, you need to know that this fanning liquid is not a cure for your ability to create a fan, but what it will do is it will actually hold the fan nice, wide and open once it is attached to the lash. This was the first bottle that came out, and then now 2 years later, this is what I'm going to be selling in the Lash Tribe name because I love it and it's an amazing product. Then we have a setting liquid which is going to be called Set Me. It's pretty simple to remember, right? So we have Fan Me and Set Me. And Set Me is a kind of the sister of the smaller sister of the big sister. This is the very first product that ever came out as this setting liquid, which makes your lashes after the service set. It speeds up the whole curing process, literally goes within 2 minutes and your lashes are set and your adhesive is cured. And it also smooths out the bonds a little bit. It makes it less cracky and also gets rid of all the lingering fumes. It basically sucks it all together and makes it cure in 2 minutes. It's amazing. So this product came out in January 2018. Other products have since hit the market, and one of them will be ours, which is going to be called Set Me, and this one doesn't have a label yet. And then lastly, we have another amazing product. No, not lastly, because I have one more after that, sorry. So we have another product which is called Prep Me. So Lash Tribe Prep Me, symbol is this, nice label looking similar to this one, just saying Set Me on it, which is the little sister of the big sister, which came out a year or two prior. I don't know the exact dates now, but it came out beforehand, before anything that could do anything like it. Also made in Germany by the same supplier I'm getting all the other products from, and it was originally called Lash Fusion, and now it's called Prep Me. Prep Me is a 3-in-1 product. It primes the lashes, so it preps them for the service without drying them out too much. It also really softens the bonds and makes them less thick and cracky, and just really smoothes out that adhesive bond. And lastly, it can also speed up your lashing time, because it will help you work in any environment by, you can swipe it directly onto the lash, and your fans will literally just magnetically be attracted to it, no matter what humidity or temperature problem you might have. So this is great to use for all of the things. You can also reapply it throughout your service. Now, the last product I don't have here on me right now, but it is a lash growth serum. That serum I'm super excited about because it has no growth hormones in it. Amen. Personally, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not going to get into the whole every single little ingredient of all the products that are coming out. I will do separate videos on all of those. I just wanted to educate you on all of the products that we have coming out. They're all made in Germany. They're all FDA approved. I will leave in the comments below exactly which ones are vegan and which ones are not. And also we are working on making them all vegan at the moment too. There will be new products coming out as well. Oh my god, I want to say it already, but it hasn't quite been 100% released yet by my supplier, not formulated 100%, but it is going to change everything for makeup wearers. That's all I wanted to say, and for those also that are very sun cautious. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, don't forget to hit that like button. Also subscribe to the channel, put on that notification bell if you want to be notified when I'm coming on with a new video next time. And thank you so much for watching and believing in what we do here. I love you all so very much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.